Hello, the information contained in this video is from the 2014-2015 Cambridge Schools Experience information session that was offered last week from the College of Education. I'm Dr. Danielle Dennis and I'm the director of the program. So if after watching this presentation you have any additional questions about Cambridge Schools Experience, please contact me via email. Just an overview of the program. There is a link to the video indicated here in the email that I sent. The video is really meant to sort of give you a picture of what you can expect in Cambridge, and it just gets you excited about the opportunity. A little bit about England. If you watch that video, you'll notice that there's a wide variation in the clothing that the students are wearing. That is because there's a wide variation in the weather while we are over in England during the summer. It can range from rainy and cold to sunny and beautiful, as much as a 20-degree difference sometimes during a week. So layers are very important to pack in your suitcase, but it's just part of the charm of the country, and you get very accustomed to walking in the rain and then 20 minutes later peeling off your sweater because the sun has come out and it's a lovely day. We have partnerships with 4 primary schools in Cambridgeshire. Primary schools is the equivalent of our elementary school, so students are roughly in grades kindergarten through 5th. You will spend 5 days a week for 4 weeks in those classrooms, and it's a very extensive and intensive internship experience. If you're selected to participate in the Cambridge Schools Experience, we will spend time helping you determine the best travel plans for you. But just so you know, London is where you're most likely to fly into if you're coming straight over from the US. And there are 2 major airports in London. That's Heathrow and Gatwick. There's also an airport closer to Cambridge that if you're traveling around the UK or Europe prior to Cambridge Schools Experience, you may choose to fly into, and that is London Stansted. All of these airports offer a bus service into Cambridge, and the bus station is actually right across the street from the house where we live, so it's quite convenient. There's also trains that go into Cambridge. With all of your luggage, you will need a taxi to get from the train station to the house. But if you're traveling on the weekends and aren't carrying much luggage, it's a very walkable distance from the house. Housing, we live in a bed and breakfast. We rent the bed and breakfast out for the entire month. It's typically just us in the house, so they do a wonderful job taking care of us. It does include breakfast every day while you're there, and they put out little extra things like bread and peanut butter and jelly and stuff like that, so that you can make a lunch at the house if you feel so inclined to do so. Location is in the heart of Cambridge, so you can walk pretty much everywhere you'd want to go. With the exception of your schools, you will need a bus pass for your schools, but that's included in the cost of the program. But in terms of entertainment and restaurants and stores and things like that, you can walk everywhere from where we are because we are truly right in the center of the city. You will have 1 faculty member, that's me, and a graduate assistant who will be supporting you in the schools. We spend just about every day in the schools, so while we may not get to every school every day, you will see us often during the week, and we will be there to support you through planning, observation, feedback, and if needed, co-teaching, so that you can get the best experience possible. You will receive a lot of feedback as part of the Cambridge Schools Experience, and that is often what students say they appreciate the most about the program, is that they are receiving feedback weekly, sometimes daily, to help them become the best educators they can be. Typically schools start around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and they typically end around 3:30. Every school has a different start and end time, so they do vary, but you are expected to arrive at school when your teacher asks you to be there. which is sometimes 30 minutes before, sometimes up to an hour before, and then to stay after school to plan with your teacher. So we would expect that you probably stay about an hour after school each day. And that is Monday through Friday for the 4 weeks that you are there. Then the weekends are yours to do with as you please. We typically do not have group activities planned on the weekend because so many people tend to travel. You can choose to stay in Cambridge. Your lodging and breakfast is still paid for over the weekends, so a lot of students choose to do that, at least one, but many times 2 to 3 weekends on their stay. If you do choose to travel, you are not permitted to leave your school site early on Friday, so you either need to plan for a later in the evening departure time, or many students just leave very early in the morning on Saturday and then spend Saturday night wherever they're traveling and come back late on Sunday. So students travel to London, to Paris, to Dublin, to Edinburgh, Scotland. Amsterdam has been a popular destination, so there are a lot of places that you can travel very easily if you leave early on a Saturday or late on a Friday. But typically places like Italy and Spain, those are saved for the end of the trip, traveling after the Cambridge Schools experience, just because the travel time is often too much for a weekend. So Cambridge Schools experience is June 11th through July 11th of 2015. We've already touched on where we live, so I won't spend any more time on that. Last year, the cost of the program was $4,625 per student. That does not include your flight over, but it does include the 3 credit hours for your field experience. It also includes the 30 nights of lodging at the bed and breakfast, plus your breakfast each day. And it includes your bus passes for the 30 days that you are there that get you to your schools, and you can use them on the weekends if you choose to travel as well. And then there are just kind of a lot of little pieces that it also covers too. So although the price tag seems large when you just look at it, it's actually a very economical sort of amount of money to spend on something like this. So to apply, the link to the application is in the email that I sent to you. The application is due October 17th by 5 p.m. You'll be notified of your selection to participate by November 1st, and you can find the criteria on the website that I linked with the application. You can use financial aid. However, financial aid typically does not increase the amount that you're eligible for because you're doing study abroad. So you have to kind of realize that you would basically get the same amount of financial aid if you were staying here in Tampa, and kind of plan accordingly. In terms of payment, there's a deposit due in early January, and that deposit is non-refundable. So it's at that point that we ask for your firm commitment. If you pay the deposit, it will not be refunded to you should you decide not to attend the Cambridge Schools experience. Also, something to keep in mind is that education abroad does offer scholarships, but those deadlines are after your deposit is due. So you need to be committed to the program before applying for the scholarships, with the understanding that you may or may not get one. So scholarships, the applications are due on February 15th. So this is just a chart that shows which field experience you're qualified for depending on your program, and then how we offer summer courses so that you're able to take all the courses you need to and attend Cambridge Schools experience. Essentially, we either offer your coursework in an alternative calendar before you leave or online. So you may be taking other courses while you're there online, but none of the programs operate in a way that would penalize you for attending the Cambridge Schools experience. They are all very much focused on allowing you to have that opportunity. So if you have questions about what it means for your particular program, it's best to ask the faculty advisor related to that program. I can answer for the elementary teacher residency and the MA in reading, but beyond that, you'd need to speak to someone more closely related to your program. If you are selected, you are expected to attend the seminars. We have a monthly seminar from November to May, and I'll show those dates on the next slide. And you are expected to attend those and complete any assignments related to those. Those are designed to prepare you for the experience, because when we get there, it becomes a very intensive experience. You walk in the door of the classroom and you're expected to be prepared to go from day one. So we want to make sure that you are ready to do so. Study Abroad also offers a pre-departure meeting that is required. They offer several of these throughout the spring semester, so there are plenty to choose from. But you must attend in order to be given your letter of departure, which you will need for border crossing when we get to the UK. So just keep that in mind and just try to get to the earliest one that you can. You will need to arrive in Cambridge by 3 p.m. on June 11th. We do have an orientation and a welcome dinner and things that evening, so you can arrive at any time that day, but you must be there by 3. You'll engage in your primary school experience daily, Monday through Friday, from June 15th to July 10th. That includes arriving to your school on time, planning with your teacher after school, and then most likely planning for instruction after school at the house with the support of myself and the graduate assistants. Also, we have weekly seminars while in Cambridge. The day that occurs will be dependent upon the information we receive from your schools about the days that you'll be staying a little bit later than others. So we'll make that known when we get there. And then, of course, like any class, you're expected to complete all assignments. These are the dates for the 6 pre-departure seminars that you must attend. The quickest one for those who are selected to participate is on November 14th from 12 to 2. And then the times for the rest of the seminars will be determined at that first seminar. So we'll base it on your schedule. And then don't forget that pre-departure orientation. Okay, so this is just a list of what we found the characteristics of successful Cambridge Schools Experience students to be. So if you're a flexible person and you're open to new things, you show initiative, you're hardworking, you work well with people, but you're also able to work independently and seek help when needed. And then if you love to try new places and new things, then this is a great experience for you. If, on the other hand, you tend to characterize yourself as the bullet points on the column that says no, this might be a very challenging experience for you. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply, but you just really need to think about the bullet points under the yes column and determine whether you feel you can challenge yourself to become the things listed on that list. So again, if you have any questions once you've looked at this and the other sites that I linked in the email, please feel free to contact me by email. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your applications.